This is where the fun begins.
Yes, Texas is a rival. I have a river of Kool-Aid for basketball.
We didn't add Tyler to this.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't.
It's time to step inside the hog pen.
All right, what's up, everybody? After my what seems like a forever ago hiatus, I am back. We are inside the hog pen. Your boy MC and DMad here with you tonight, running the show this week. How you doing, D?
Oh man, just woke up. Same stuff, different day.
Another day, another dime, huh?
25 cents.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not going to go down to a penny, but it's going to be a nickel at least.
Yeah, I got you. Well, we kind of had a week of extremes this week as far as Razorback hoops goes. I kind of put, when I was making up the description earlier today, I was kind of like, man, how do I convey this, that we were just all over the place this week? Lowest of lows on Saturday. I mean, I don't even know if it's really worth talking about. I mean, it is what it is, man. That was a belt to backside in the biggest kind of way. And then great bounce back last night. Great way to come back. And it's always nice to beat Texas, man. I don't care if we're playing Candyland or checkers. Anytime Texas loses, America wins. So that's always a good thing. And then, of course, the big thing that come out of last night, senior night for Brazil and Pringle and Ewan. Brazil, what a way to go out, man, on senior night. I believe he had a career high last night. I believe he had 28 points and 10 or 12 rebounds. And there for a while, man, it just seemed like it was just a dunk fest because
anytime he threw it up, it went down.
Yeah. And if you remember this, at one point in the first half, TB got a dunk that was very similar to one of the first ones that he had. When I nicknamed him Dr. Brazil. But he delivered the facial on the big white guy from Texas, and man, just a great night all the way around.
Have that picture right.
It's just a great night, man. Acuff did more Acuff things and just kind of solidified to me that he needs to be not the SEC Freshman of the Year. He needs to be the SEC Player of the Year. And I'm kind of with Cal, man. I think he needs to start getting some consideration for National Player of the Year. He's not going to get it, but he needs to be in the conversation.
He's just not that, like, the problem with him getting Player of the Year, he's not as big of a story as not Carlos Boozer. What was his name? Cam Boozer?
Cam Boozer, yeah.
He's not as big of a story as Cam Boozer. And for some reason, Kingston Flemings, even though Flemings fell off the past couple weeks. But
I think he's a better point guard than Fleming. I mean, if you compare their numbers, he's got the better. He's averaging more points. He's got more assists. Houston overall is the better team right now. I mean, they did beat Arkansas head to head, and they are ranked higher than Arkansas. But I mean, if you just take those two, if you swap those two guys out, Acuff has a bigger impact on Houston than the other dude would have on Arkansas. So
yeah, and I kind of want to change the subject just a little bit.
Yeah.
How tough has the SEC been this year?
Oh, dude, it's bonkers.
Like, we have, was it 5 losses in the SEC right now, and we're in second place?
Yeah, I'm going to pull that up right now to pull up the standings in basketball. Florida's kind of running away and hiding from everybody. They're 15-2, and if you watched anything Saturday, you saw why they're 15-2. We are currently tied with Alabama right now for second at 12-5, but they have the tiebreaker because they won head to head. Tennessee is next at 11-6, and then Vanderbilt and Missouri, A&M, and that blue team all sitting at 10-7.
Okay, Texas didn't get to 10 wins, did they? I thought they
Texas
got 10 wins.
Texas is 9-8 right now. They play Oklahoma Saturday. So if they beat Oklahoma, which I think they should, because I'm pretty sure that one's at the Moody Center in Austin. If they win that, they'll go to 10-8 on the year. Arkansas has a chance to finish 13-5 with a win Saturday at Missouri, which will not be easy. But if they could get that win and finish 13-5, man, honestly, man, it's hard to complain about a 13-5 and
last time we finished second in the SEC.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't even know. I'd have to really go back and dig deep and look it up to see when we finished second.
It'd probably be one of the Mike Anderson years when the SEC was down as a whole.
Maybe
like there was a couple
yeah.
Years it was like Kentucky and Arkansas, and that was it.
Maybe the years that like Macon and Barford were there, and maybe some of that bunch. I don't know, but it's been a long time for sure. I would like to go ahead and get that win on Saturday at Missouri. That it's never easy going up there. We always have a tough time up there. They're going to be out for a little bit of revenge, but the thing is, even with a loss, Arkansas can do no worse than third. So they get the double bye at the all important double bye in Nashville. Won't have to play till I guess Friday is when they would play, because you have your quarterfinals on Friday, semifinals on Saturday, and then championship game on Sunday. That's the coveted piece of it. You want that double bye where you don't have to play till Friday.
Mr. A-State guy, did you see how the Sun Belt has their conference tournament lined up?
Yes. Yeah. Is that not wild? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bunch of 1-0 games.
So here's why they did that, because there's been several years in a row that you've had somebody from the Sun Belt, say South Alabama or even A-State a couple years ago. This really affected them. But if your regular season conference champion in that conference does not win the conference tournament, you're not getting to the dance. You're going NIT. Right. So they did this to protect the top seed of whoever wins the regular season conference title, to give them a better shot at making the dance, because they know that's the only way they're going to get a Sun Belt team in. James Madison was another one. Year before last, I believe, they were like 29-3 on the year and got upset in either, I think it was the semis. They got upset, and so that blew their chance at getting to go. And they were one of those teams that somebody. That some of the experts were saying, hey, watch out for this team if they get in, because they could wreck your bracket, basically. They were that good, and they got upset, like what happens, like what we see in March conference tournaments all the time. They got upset. It took out the Sun Belt's main shot at getting to make some noise, and so they went with this crazy bracket to where if you're like a 6 or a 7 seed or an 8, whatever, you have to, like, it's one game here, and then this team has a bye. So, like, if you're the worst seed, you have to win like 5 games just to get to the semifinals.
In 5 days.
Yeah, 5 games. You have to win 5 games in 5 days to get like to the semifinals. So it protects the 1 seed. But it's wild, man. It's, the coaches all seem to like it. I don't know. It's different, but I think you'll see a lot more G5 teams going to that setup for their conference tournament.
That's probably a good point.
So, we talked a little bit about last night. We didn't talk about the big announcement that came last night, and that is that it's long overdue. It's a better late than never, but it looks like Nolan Richardson is going to get his statue out in front of the house that he built, basically, because that's what Bud Walton is. It's the house that Nolan built, and they announced it at halftime last night. Here's what I like about this, D. Not only did they announce it finally, so we're finally going to get this, but the fact that Nolan is still with us and got to stand on the court at Nolan Richardson Court in the house that he built on Nolan Richardson Drive and hear that ovation and that appreciation that this fan base has for him when Hunter Yurachek announced that, hey, we've started the process. There's going to be a statue out in front of this building. Because I was scared to death that if it was going to happen, they were going to wait and do it after Nolan was gone. And I'm glad that he's here to see this process start. Seems only fitting, you know?
Yeah, and I wonder if Calipari, he's been doing a whole lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder if he had a big hand in this, because I know it's hard for an outsider like Yurachek to understand the gravity of what Nolan actually did,
Right.
and like the appreciation that Arkansas fans have now for him. Because because I know a lot of Arkansas fans, back in the early 2000s,
Yep,
were not the happiest with him, and it had to do a lot with skin color. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, it did. It did. I will agree. Yeah.
But we saw the curse of Nolan after he left. There was a huge vacuum left at Bud Walton Arena and through the John Pelfrey, Stan Heath era, and we might even hear from somebody today. What? What?
Yeah.
But it got to the point where Arkansas fans were able to swallow their racism. I'm gonna call it what it is.
Yeah, just call it what it is.
Be able to appreciate what it is. Appreciate what Nolan built. What do you say? He built a monster, and you got to feed the monster.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it got to the point where, some of those last few teams that he had didn't necessarily live up to the standard that he himself had set, and he knew that. And it was just the game was changing. If you remember, Andre Iguodala was set to come to Arkansas instead of going to Arizona, and Nolan gets fired, and then he goes on to Arizona.
I wonder if he turned out to be anything.
Yeah, no doubt, right? But I think it's beautiful that he's getting one, because without Nolan, there is no modern day version of what we know as Razorback basketball. And I'll go a step further, because when he brought that 40 minutes of hell style in, not everybody was playing that. You still had a lot of the Dean Smith, Bobby Knight, pass it 5, 6, 7 times, walk it up, run your set motion play, and try to get a backdoor layup or whatever with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Nolan took that and threw it out the window and said, we're going to play defense, we're going to force turnovers, and we're going to get up and down the floor. And now you look, and nobody plays the walk it up, the Dean Smith style that I call it. Nobody plays that anymore. Everybody wants to play a version of the 40 minutes of hell, whether it's just getting out and running, or whether it's the high intensity pressure defense trying to cause turnovers and turn defense into offense. The impact
that right now,
the impact that the man had on the game, it goes just well beyond Arkansas. And let's not forget, he's still the only college basketball coach to win a junior college title, an NIT title, and an NCAA title. So, that's historic in itself right there. So, the fact that we're finally getting to do this, and I heard on the radio this morning, they were talking about it on the show that everybody loves to listen to hate. There was they actually had Hunter Yurachek on this morning, and he was talking about this, and he said that there was a private donor that stepped up and said, hey, if this is something that you guys really want to do, I'll take care of the cost on it. And the donor wanted to remain anonymous, but it's a private donor that's fronting all the costs for this. So, Hunter said that this had been being tossed around for a couple years. And I imagine the reason that it hadn't happened is because of the way things have changed, and they're so strapped for money right now, like pretty much everybody in college athletics is. But when you have a private donor step up and say, hey, I will take care of this if you want to do it, why would you not do it?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I was going to say, as a guy that didn't get to appreciate Nolan while he was the coach,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I've done my due diligence to go back and look at the games. Like I have the
You froze up on us, D. You have to get your story when you unfreeze. We'll get your story. But I'm sure you were saying something about you've done your due diligence to go back and watch the history.
I watched the history, and you know that 40 Minutes of Hell documentary on SEC Story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's saved in my YouTube. I watch it I wouldn't say regularly, but I watch it frequently. And I'm a guy that likes to rewatch stuff, so I like to watch stuff like that.
I mean, I grew up on Nolan Richardson. I mean, my first real memories of Razorback basketball is the 1987 NIT game between Arkansas and Arkansas State. That's my first real memory of paying attention to a Razorback game. And then after that, of course, you know, right after that was when Ron Heary, Todd Day, Lee Mayberry, Big O, God rest his soul, that bunch all come in. And I remember watching them on that run to the Final Four in 1990 in Denver. And that NCAA tournament run is what hooked me. Watching Todd Day go out and just light people up night after night after night, kind of like what Acuff is doing now. You know, that hooked me. And then those guys brought me in and hooked me. And then, of course, you know, the guys that followed, Corliss and Corey and Scotty and all that bunch, I mean, it just got better and better from there. And I mean, I've been hooked on it. And, you know, it's a shame that things had to happen the way they did with Nolan when it all went down between he and Frank. I mean, there's, you know, and Nolan has talked about this in his later years. You know, I really like the fact that I'm pretty certain that he and Frank kind of reconciled a little bit before Frank passed. You know, they both kind of admitted there was fault on both sides. You know, neither one of them really handled it right, but whatever it is, you know, it's water under the bridge, the hatchet's buried. And now we're getting to see Nolan be honored the way that he should have been, honestly. I mean, he should have been the guy to go out on his own terms, ride off into the sunset, and be able to get his flowers like what he's getting now. And as a longtime fan, I'm really happy that we're able to do this while he's still here.
Mm-hmm. No kidding. And sorry, I'm getting messages, and I just want to make sure I'm about to make a phone call and make sure everything's all right. But God, I was gonna say something. I forgot what it was. I completely blanked on it. Let me make this phone call. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Well, while he's making his phone call, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into Darius Acuff promotion mode because, of course, Acuff did Acuff things again last night. I think he had, I don't know, 25, 28 points, whatever. He was right at 30. I mean, he was above his 22-point average. He ended up with his assists.
Reminded me what it was.
Okay. All right.
So this was a conversation I was having with my dad a couple weeks ago. And my dad's not the guy to throw best of all time around like it's a piece of candy, you know?
Yeah.
But my dad, unprompted, might I add, said I think that that Acuff might be the best Razorback we've had of all time.
Man, I think so.
That, I'll step away.
Yeah, I think so. And I consider myself an old head. Corliss has always been my guy. Before Corliss, it was Todd Day. They're kind of 1 and 1A for me. But even with the way those guys were, I mean, this is a generational talent that we're seeing. What we're seeing right now, we are seeing the DMAC of Razorback basketball is what we're seeing. I've got a couple tweets I want to put up here to kind of support my argument. That's phenomenal. You don't see that kind of stuff. I mean, we're talking about, you think about all the great point guards that have gone through. And I'm talking, great college point guards, guys like Allen Iverson, guys like Stephon Marbury, Chris Paul, Bobby Hurley from back in the day playing at Duke, Lee Mayberry, Corey Beck, Chris Jackson when he played at LSU, now known as Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. Pick your point guard, man. Penny Hardaway, he's another one that none of these guys have done what Acuff is doing this year. And the crazy thing is that there's still people out there that think that he's not SEC Player of the Year material. I just think that it can't be any more bogus. I mean, how can you have credibility and say that this guy is not Player of the Year, and he's not even being considered in the conversation for National Player of the Year? And I realize he's not going to win it because he doesn't have Duke or Kansas across his uniform, or North Carolina. But I can tell you this right now: you take Acuff and you put him in a Duke jersey, a North Carolina jersey, Kansas. There's just a handful of those teams that you could put him in that jersey, and he's running away with Player of the Year right now. There's some people that are still saying he doesn't even need to be SEC Player of the Year, and I can't get on board with that, because I got another tweet here I'm going to show you. Is Darius Acuff and Pistol Pete Maravich. Appreciate Underdog Twitter account or X account for that stat, because I mean, you're talking about, Pistol Pete's kind of the gold standard when it comes to SEC basketball players. I mean, the man averaged 44 points a game and 6 assists without a 3-point line. And Acuff is averaging 22 points a game, which is, it's insane that he's averaging half the points that Maravich did. But Maravich didn't have much help on those LSU teams, so he had to score 44. I mean, if he scored 44 a game, they might score 60 as a team. But anytime you're in the company as an individual player of Pistol Pete Maravich on the collegiate level, you're doing something nobody has ever done. And to say that he's not the clear-cut SEC Player of the Year is just ridiculously dumb in my mind.
And who's going to be the SEC Player of the Year? LeBaron Phillips.
LeBaron Philon from Alabama.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Or the big kid at Florida, Huff, I think is his name. He's the one that's getting the most talk right now. He's kind of moved ahead of Philon, but it's the three names that I see mentioned are the Huff kid at Florida, Philon, and Acuff.
So, it's he's not going to win both, because who's the last player to win both?
I don't even know.
In a long time.
Maybe somebody like John Wall, maybe.
Yeah, that would probably be the only when the SEC, let's be honest, was not very good back then.
Right.
And if we travel back a couple of years to the Moses Moody year, where he was the clear-cut favorite,
yeah,
and then they gave it to what Herb Jones,
yeah, but he did win. He did win Freshman of the Year, but he should have been Player of the Year that year. I don't know, man. We know how ridiculous the SEC can be when it comes to handing out awards, how political they can be. But
it comes to the same thing with like all the sports. They want to make sure every team is represented in the all conference selections. Arkansas went 2-10 this year, but somehow made all conference in a couple of spots. It's like, really, guys? Yeah, I'd say Carmona probably earned it, but that's about it.
That's probably about it. Yeah, I mean, you're 2-10. You can't have that many quality guys, or you wouldn't be 2-10. So, but I don't know, man. I'm going to be highly upset if Acuff doesn't get SEC Player of the Year. And if we should.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was, Cal kind of addressed it in the post game the other night. He kind of had his, when McFadden was up for the Heisman, after that LSU game, Houston Nutt had that famous Mark May, Lou Holtz, you got to put him in the Heisman. You better look at him again. That whole speech. Cal kind of had his version of that with after the post game, the game before Florida, whatever game that was now, I don't remember. But the game before Florida.
Speaking of Lou Holtz, did you hear about him?
I did. Yep. I'm gonna save that towards the end of the show, but yeah, definitely we're gonna revisit that, and we will definitely pay our respects to Sweet Lou before we get off the air tonight. But yeah, it's that's kind of a sad deal, man. Most people know him for his time on Game Day, but he was a heck of the college football live, I guess, the nighttime version of Game Day is what I call it.
I think it was college football final.
Yeah, college football final. That's what it was. Yeah, that's where him and Mark May would have the back and forth segment, where they would kind of debate stuff back and forth. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit about Lou later on in the show. But so you got one more basketball game left before you go to Nashville. You go to Missouri. You're going to be no worse than the 3 seed going into Nashville for the SEC tournament. I saw some tweets today kind of talking about maybe rest Acuff and not play him Saturday. I don't think you're going to get by with that. I mean, if the man wore a boot all week leading up to the Alabama game, he's not going to load manage. This is not Darian Peterson we're talking about here. He's not going to set out and avoid some competition, especially when he has another chance to go out and showcase what he can do. So he's going to play. Now, if it gets out of hand one way or the other, I think you might take him out and set him a little bit.
It looks like the type of player that would have the for the love of the game part of the contract and the NBA contract. If he can play the game, he's going to play the game. Now, if he gets
I would agree.
Jet ski, that's a whole different situation.
Yeah, I don't know how much jet skiing you do growing up in Detroit, though. So maybe a little snowmobile here and there, but I don't know that you're going to do much of the jet skiing. But I get what you're saying there. So got a couple comments over here. Casey Sutton in the comments says, "Hey guys, hello, Casey. Appreciate you being in." And then
my mom.
Yeah, I think you're familiar with this one. Miss Cindy comes.
My wife is also commenting too, so we have 2 people watching every move I make right now.
Yeah, there you go. You got to be on your best behavior. You got both of them watching you.
I got to make a phone call real quick, and I got a text message that said, "Who you calling?"
Yeah, who you calling? Yeah.
I should have sent it.
Yeah, that's when you told me your wife was watching, the first thing that went to my head was like, yep, she probably asked him who he was calling a while ago. So, D, all right, D, I'll tell you what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna step aside for a break, and then when we come back, we'll talk. If our guest is not here, we will talk a little baseball.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Chuck said that he got confused on days. And
not a big deal.
So he will be on the show next week for us.
Okay, that'll be fine. Well, here's what we'll do. We'll take a break. We'll come back and talk a little baseball. Razorback baseball is underway, and we have some fans ready to hit the panic button, man, after losing a couple midweek games. So we'll see what everybody has to say about that. Arkansas fans overreacting? No, surely not. So, but anyway, we'll touch on that right after the break. Meeks Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Meeks Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Meeks Design.
Hey, Hog fanatics. We at Inside the Hog Pen are thrilled to announce that SeatGeek is now a sponsor. As brand ambassadors, we're excited to share SeatGeek as a ticket app that simplifies the ticket buying process for all your favorite events. They provide a 0 to 10 score for each ticket, with green indicating a good deal and red indicating a not so good deal. As a special offer, Hog fanatics can get $20 off their first ticket purchase by using the code INSIDEHOGPEN. Check out our socials for the link, and remember to use the code INSIDEHOGPEN.
Attention Razorback fans and local businesses. Are you ready to reach the most passionate Arkansas sports fans out there? Introducing Inside the Hog Pen, not your normal Razorback talk show. We're fans first and don't try to hide it. No agendas, no propaganda. At Inside the Hog Pen, we call it like we see it. And now we're looking for sponsors to join the team. This is your chance to put your brand in front of thousands of loyal Razorback fans who live and breathe Arkansas sports. From small businesses to major brands, we have sponsorship packages tailored just for you. So let's grow together and make Inside the Hog Pen bigger and better. Don't miss out. Call 501-416-4331 or email us today at insidethehogpen@gmail.com and become a proud sponsor of Inside the Hog Pen.
It's time to step back inside the hog pen to the Meeks Design Studios.
All right, welcome back inside the hog pen. Your boy MC DMad is having a little technical difficulties, so he's gonna reset his gear, and he will be back with us shortly. Speaking of, let me get where I can add him back in. Yep, he's got it. He's got it fixed. I just got to get him added back. There's my man right there. All right,
I like
so
how you left out the devil part of that. Speaking of,
hey, I got one more basketball note I got to mention, and then we can go and talk about this baseball thing. So last night with the win over Texas, or actually, should I say the absolute destruction of Texas, that was Coach Calipari's 899th career win, which puts him fifth all-time, tied with Bobby Knight. So he's fifth all-time in most wins now. His next win, hopefully coming Saturday at Missouri, would be win number 900. So Cal
he's also 3-0 against Texas.
Yes, he is. And that's a quick way to win over the hearts of old head Razorback fans. So, all right.
The ones that don't have hair.
There you go. We're so old that all these tragic losses over the years have caused us to just rub our heads raw, and that's where we're at. But Cal being 3-0 against Texas, I mean, that's a good thing. So, okay, are you ready to talk about the premature meltdown due to midweek losses? Because we got some fans that are on the verge of melting down, not only because of one of the losses to A-State. They lost 12-3, 12-4, something like that. A-State went and played a heck of a ball game. Let me tell you, Mike Silva is, if they can hang on to Mike Silva, he's going to get that program to where it will be a contender in the Sun Belt. Silva's a heck of a coach. He's the guy that was at Northwestern State a few years ago when Northwestern State went into Alex Box and beat LSU. So this did not really surprise me at all to see what he's put together there in a very short time. And A-State is starting to, put a little money into baseball. And I like to see it, man, because it's gonna be fun. That's right here in my backyard. So I'll go over and harass Ole Miss the next time they come up and play here at Jonesboro, because they've done that before. So I'll go harass them. Southern Miss, nationally ranked, coming to Jonesboro, I believe, next weekend. I think me and my boys are going to try to go out there and watch some of that one as well. That should be a fun series. But are people freaking out too early, or is there some cause for concern with this team?
Oh, people are always freaking out too early. Baseball is not a basketball or a football game. Baseball is, how are you playing on that day? Mm-hmm. Like, the reason that you have all these really good players is
All right, D froze up again. So, yeah, I agree with the point he was trying to make, and I think the point was being that baseball is just different, and you can't treat it like you do any other sport.
Yeah, the consistency is what makes people good. That's why you have a 300 hitter is a Hall of Fame hitter in the MLB. It's not because they're hitting the cover off the ball; they're failing 7 out of 10 times.
Yes,
And if you can get your whole team to fail fail at different times, then you're going to have a good team.
Well, and the thing that a lot of yeah, you're hitting the point I was going to hit, D. You're nailing it exactly where I was going to hit it. But the other thing I want to point out is that this is not an Arkansas problem. Okay, if you look around the conference, LSU has lost to McNeese State and they lost to Louisiana Lafayette. I believe it was Tuesday night of this week. UCA beat Vanderbilt in Nashville. Tennessee lost a series. They got swept by Kent State on a weekend series. South Carolina lost to Queens or William and Mary or somebody. So I mean, it's across, and then Arkansas has they lost a game to A-State, they lost to UT Arlington on a Friday night, but then come back and dominated the other two games in the series. I don't see the need to freak out right now. It has been February baseball. If you're gonna have crap games like this where you lose to teams you're not supposed to lose to,
matter.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter if you lose 1 out of 3. It doesn't.
Yes.
And is it a good sign? No, it's not. Do I think God, I lost his name. What's our Friday night starter's name?
Oh, Gabe Gackle.
Yeah. If Gackle keeps on putting balls right over the plate, yeah, they're gonna hit it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the problem. Like, he's not like biting the edge here.
Yeah. And I have been, I tell you what, I have been really impressed with Colin Fisher, the Sunday guy. I think Fisher has done really well in Sunday. And if Gackle continues to kind of struggle a little bit, maybe you move him back to the pen and you bump Fisher up to your Friday night guy, because when Gackle was coming out of the pen,
guys has been pretty good too.
Yeah. But when Gackle was coming out of the pen last year, that was when he was doing some of his best work. And, maybe he's just one of these guys that's not meant to be a starter. He's meant to be a middle relief kind of guy, a long middle relief kind of guy.
Mm-hmm. And, another guy that's working on the midweeks right now, Zach Stewart. He transferred in from
Missouri State. Yeah,
that's what it was. He transferred in from Missouri State, and he's hitting the cover off the ball right now on these midweek games. And now I understand it's the teams you're playing, but I mean, you can only take what opportunity you were given. And he's taking every opportunity right now, and he's hitting the cover off the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I think Stewart might give. I'm gonna call it. I think Stewart's gonna give Souza a run for his money if he doesn't turn around his bat.
Yeah,
Souza was having problems with his bat last year too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was, and coming off that shoulder injury, they say he's clear, they say he's okay, but we're still seeing some signs of him. Maybe, I don't know if rust is the right word, but it's just not coming together for him at the plate. Now his fielding is on point, but it's just not coming together for him at the plate. So, and I like seeing Stewart, whatever game it was they had, Oral Roberts, he hit a ball that off the bat, and I'm not a big exit velo guy, because it doesn't matter if you hit it 130 miles an hour if you hit it right at somebody. He hit a ball that was literally 114 miles an hour off the bat. And I don't blame the second baseman a bit for just trying to get out of the way, because you got a ball coming at you that fast. That's survival mode at that point. But he's just absolutely tattooing the ball right now, and I think he's playing his way into the weekend lineup.
If you want to hear how crazy 114 off the bat is, there's God, I can't wait till we figure out my internet.
All right, 114 off the bat. How crazy is it?
I mean, like, I saw a video the other day. This guy, his highest ball speed ever off the bat is like, and these guys are literally every single day they're just trying to hit the ball as hard as they can. His highest ball speed is like 129, and that's just like soft toss into
Right.
or like pitching machine into it. This guy hit 115 or 114 in a game. You
Yeah.
don't see, like, I know this is a little bit different, but like the best professionals, like the hardest ball you'll see in professional baseball is about 112.
Yeah.
And that's a screamer. But I understand there's a difference between metal bat and wood bat, but at the same time, there's a difference between a pro player and a college player.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
I mean, I remember there was an argument back in the day when Bryce Harper was doing his little rounds of high school. He hit a ball.
Oh, he hit one that was, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I want to say like 108, 109, I think is what it was. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Anybody wants to buy me a hotspot, you'll be the first.
You'd be a top sponsor here.
You'd be the biggest of sponsors if somebody were to sponsor me for a hotspot. But I've seen this video before, and somebody responded, "Yeah, give Prince Fielder a aluminum bat." It's like, yeah, Prince Fielder was a 15-year pro at the time,
right?
And Bryce Harper has been alive for 15 years.
Yeah,
but,
no doubt. Well,
like,
and you've got, yeah. I mean, it's just unreal the way Stewart has come in and has been hitting the ball. And I think you're right. I think we'll see him play his way into the lineup. May see it as soon as this weekend. Little different this weekend. You've got a 4-game series that starts on Friday and ends on Monday with Stetson. And I believe they have bumped up the start time on Friday. I think originally it was supposed to be 1 p.m. I think I saw where they have moved it up to 11 a.m. because of the potential of weather on Friday. So 3 afternoon games, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday, according to the schedule I'm looking at, the Monday game is scheduled for noon. And then after that, man, it gets started because Mississippi State comes to Fayetteville the weekend of the 13th, 14th, and 15th of March. And then from then on, it's on.
Isn't Mississippi State the Norm DeBryan weekend?
I think that's Florida. It's okay. Yeah, the Norm DeBryan Legends weekend is the 27th, 28th, and 29th.
Okay. Sorry.
So,
man, my brain's not working today. I had something I wanted to talk about. I can't remember it. What do you? Oh, that's what it was. So, I don't have any tinfoil on me right now.
Okay. Ooh, okay. This sounds
good. Do you want to hear my tinfoil?
Of course. You know me, man. I'm a conspiracy guy.
So we lost to Texas Cheaters University, right?
Right.
Pretty handily.
Yeah.
Tell me why they go into.
Oh, they're getting to you, D. They cut your signal off again. It's the Texas Cheaters, man. They're jumping in on you.
I'm in Texas right now, and they're trying to get my Wi-Fi. But after we got handled by TCU, they went to UCLA and got curb stomped the entire weekend.
They did. Yes, they did. I remember seeing that.
So they can curb stomp us, but can't do anything against UCLA. Kind of
suspicious. Now, in their defense, UCLA is a top 3 team.
So are we.
Yeah. I'm trying to look and see. Yeah, they lost 10-2, 5-1, and then they got run ruled in the 3rd game of that UCLA series, 15-5. So they are sitting at.
I just sent that email again.
They are sitting at 7-5 on the year, 4-0 at home, 1-3 on the road. Let's see. Okay, so they have a loss to UT Arlington as well. That's a team that beat us last Friday.
I wonder if they're freaking out over there.
And then let's see who they got coming up. They have They play Tulane this weekend in a home series, so that'll be that. I might keep an eye on that just because I can be a baseball sicko at times. So, all right, baseball. Don't freak out. We're just now getting into March. If we get swept by Mississippi State, then maybe there might be some cause for concern, but it's not time to get concerned yet.
For the love of God, it's baseball.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to be a purist.
I'm looking at. Sorry, I had a tweet pop up here of a NBA draft projection.
You know, I kind of want to tell you who I think should draft A-Cuff, but I don't want to be the purist. I want to be that guy that sits there and says, "You don't know baseball, shut up." But some of you need to shut the hell up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with y'all.
It's sometimes it can be pretty easy to tell who played baseball growing up, who's been around the game, and who hasn't.
Are dumb when it comes to
yeah, I would agree. They can be dumb sometimes. So, all right, baseball, Stetson this weekend. I'm gonna get ready to put I'm afraid your Wi-Fi is on life support, so I'm fixing to put a wrap on the show here. You touched on it earlier, and now has come to the point of the show where we got to talk about the memory of Lou Holtz. 89 years old, passed away, I guess yesterday. Or yesterday was when the news broke that he had passed away. He'd been in hospice since January, so it was one of those deals that everybody knew it was coming. Like I said earlier, man, a lot of people just realize him from they recognize him from College Football Final, but he was he's the guy that came in after Frank here, and has arguably one of the biggest wins in Razorback football history. Came under Lou Holtz, and that was the 78 Orange Bowl where they upset Oklahoma 31-6 and just put an absolute beatdown on what was supposed to be a much better Oklahoma team and cost them the national championship. He was here.
He also ran onto the field and told the students to get off the damn field.
Yeah, he did. I remember that, or I remember seeing the video of it. I obviously wasn't old enough to really remember it, but I've seen the video.
I wasn't even alive.
I was alive, just barely. But that game, the 1981 Texas game that all the old heads like to refer to, the 42-11 beatdown. Of course, then he goes on Johnny Carson as the Arkansas head coach, which was a big deal at the time. Him and Frank didn't really see eye to eye. He ends up leaving, and then goes on and wins a national title at his dream job at Notre Dame. And, of course, then he went on to coach at South Carolina later on in the SEC. When Nutt was here, Lou was over at South Carolina and kind of turned things around there. So, big time legacy.
During their little tip of the hat video tribute they did for him during the halftime of the Arkansas game,
I'll let him continue that when he gets back. Here we go. Now he should be coming back. There you are. So during the video, you got about a minute and a half before it craps out again.
So I think it was the Cotton Bowl against Oklahoma, and Arkansas was not playing for the championship, but Oklahoma kind of was. They still had an outside shot. Yeah. And then Lou Holtz went into the game and suspended 7 players and beat Oklahoma 30 to.
Yep, that's the 78 Orange Bowl. The top players, I think 3 starters, were suspended, and then Roland Sales, backup running back, comes in and sets an Orange Bowl record a rushing record in the Orange Bowl that stood until about 10 years or so ago. He had like 206 yards in that Orange Bowl game, and that stood until sometime in the 2000s before it was broken. So it stood for a good 25, 30 years. But yeah, just hate to see the passing of Lou, man. Just another legend gone. And, it's.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he have something he said about Arkansas before too? That was a little disparaging.
Yeah, so the night that he went on Johnny Carson on the Tonight Show, Carson was talking to him about coaching in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and he made the comment that Fayetteville's not the end of the earth, but you can see it from there. And some of the natives in Arkansas got their panties in a wad about it, and kind of went along with kind of added a little animosity to the whole deal between he and Frank, which I don't know the story there, but I know that eventually they started butting heads a little bit. But I think pretty much anybody that came and coached football butted heads with Frank at one point because Frank didn't want to let go of the reins. But that's another story for another show. So God bless Lou Holtz. God bless his family. And, if you're the praying kind, throw some prayers their way during this time, because it's never easy to lose the centerpiece of your family. And that's what the Holtz family is going through right now. So any final thoughts on hoops or baseball before we get out of here, D, and before your Wi-Fi dies again?
I think, if one team drafts a cup, it has to be Detroit.
That would be fitting. That would be very fitting for him to get to go home. And that would be like Chicago drafting Derrick Rose. That would be great.
Wembanyama to the Spurs, LeBron to the Cavs. I mean,
yeah. There's some precedent that's been set there, so it would be kind of nice to see him end up in Detroit and go back and play at home, so to speak. Some of the projections I've seen have him going to Dallas, which I think is a great fit for him. But we'll see what happens. I mean, we still got a lot of basketball to play, and hopefully he makes a legendary run. He makes a Kimbo.
Spurs.
I'm just not a Spurs guy, man. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
But he's a good fit.
But I could
for somebody that needs a point guard.
Yeah,
and Spurs probably need a point guard.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they could use a guard to go along with Wemby and some of that other young talent they've got. But anyway, I'm hoping we see a Kemba Walker type postseason run where he just puts the team on his back and said, all right, boys, next stop is Indianapolis. So hopefully he can get us there. So anyway, that's going to put a bow on tonight's show. Appreciate y'all tuning in. DMad, appreciate you fighting the stupid Texas Wi-Fi to be here with me tonight, so I'm not sitting here talking to myself. So Hogs play Missouri Saturday, and then it's off to Nashville. Yes, you do. So, all right, for my boy DMad, this is MC. We'll see you later next time on Inside the Hog Pen.
Thanks for watching this episode of Inside the Hog Pen. Listen anytime on your favorite podcast provider, and be sure to follow us on all our social network channels.